What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about curved beams in Revit. So creating curved beams is something that's possible inside of Revit, and I decided to create a whole tutorial where I'm just going to be talking about different approaches on how to create curved beams in Revit, because there are many different approaches. You can create them kind of curved in the XY axis, in the XZ axis. Also, you can have them kind of follow the contour of a certain kind of warped roof structure. There are many little tips and tricks along the way where you can make your whole approach a lot more efficient, a lot better. So that's something that I decided to create a tutorial about, and that's what we're going to be talking in today's video. Now, if you're interested more into learning about steel constructions in Revit and advanced structural constructions and detailing in Revit, I have a whole structural steel fabrications course for Revit. It's available on my website, balkanarchitect.com. That's going to be the first link just below the video in the description. So check it out if you're interested. It pretty much covers everything you need to know when it comes to creating these types of structures. And there also on my website, I have many more different courses for both beginners, intermediate level users, as well as advanced users for Revit. Over 90 hours of content at this point. And also, if you would like my Revit project files, like all of the files that I'm going to be creating today, well, all of that is available on my Patreon page. That is going to be the second link in the description just below the video, so check it out if you're interested. Also, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. It helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. It promotes the video to other people that may want to learn about this, so just make sure to do it, and it helps me out a lot. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get straight into Revit.
Okay, here we are in Revit, and let's get started with the simplest one, and that's going to be a curved or arched beam in the that's hosted on a level. So that means that it's basically in the XY axis, and then it's curved. So let's go here to the Structure tab, and then let's go to the Beam tool, Structural Framing, Beam, BM is the shortcut. I'm just going to select that, and then here for the structural usage, I'm just going to leave everything as kind of the default settings. And then here, when it comes to Draw Tools, I'm simply going to choose the Start and Radius arc, and then you can simply use that and create an arc. Now, in this case, you can see that nothing really happens on the screen, and here we get this kind of warning, and the main reason for that is because by just default settings in Revit, it's not going to view anything below the level, and the beam is kind of goes up to the level, but it's still considered below. So what you have to do is just go here to the Properties panel, scroll down until you find the View Range settings, go into Edit, and just change the bottom and the view depth to Unlimited. And as soon as you do that and hit Apply, as you can see, that beam will show up. And here you can kind of play around with it a little bit. It's going to appear as a line if you're in the coarse level of detail, but if you change that to the fine level of detail, as you can see, it's going to appear as an actual beam. And if I go here to the Quick Access toolbar and open up the 3D view, there we go, we have a curved beam in the X and Y direction. So it's fairly simple and straightforward, and as you saw, we had a few other tools like the spline or the partial ellipse, so it doesn't have to be just an arc. You can play around with these shapes a little bit as well. Next, let's try one that's in a section, so that's going to be hosted on a grid. It's basically going to be in the XZ direction. So if I just go here into level 1, and then let me place a grid here. So you have to just go here to the Datum panel. It's on the Architecture or Structural tab. Here we have the Datum panel, and then go to Grid. GR is the shortcut. And let me just place one grid like this. Hit the Escape key a couple of times. Let's place it here just to make it a bit fun. Okay, so we have that grid, and now if I open up the south elevation here, so just zoom in and just double click on the little arrow, so not on the bubble, but on the arrow, that's going to open up that elevation. Here we can see that beam, but again, it's just represented as a simple line because we have to change the level of detail to fine in order to see it better. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go here to the structural framing beam, and it's going to ask us in which work plane we want to place this beam. So we want to place it on that grid line. We can use that as sort of a reference plane. So let me just go here and set it by name, and then we have the grid number 1. Click OK. There we go. Important thing, don't check the 3D snapping on. Make sure it's checked off because it might snap to something that you don't want it to snap to. So just keep that in mind. And then let's go to the start end radius arc again. Go here from this point. Let's go to that point. And then we can go up like this. And there we go. We have another curved beam. Let's go to the 3D view. This is what that looks like. Looks fun, I guess. So that's how you can create these curved or simple curved beams in Revit. Now keep in mind that you can take these to a whole different level, and usually creating beams just like this isn't really that impressive nor necessary, but where this option really, or the ability to create curved beams really comes to shine, is when you have some sort of a curved roof structure, and that's where having a curved beam is very, very useful. So let me show you how to do something like that. So what I'm going to do next is simply go here to the Massing and Site tab, and let's turn on Show Mass and go to In Place Mass. Let's call it Mass 1. And I'm going to create a kind of a wavy roof structure, and then we're going to add some beams as a support element. So what I'm going to do is go here into level 1. And then let's go off here to the side, go to the reference plane, RP is the shortcut, and create 3 reference planes, just like this, one in front of the other, just like that. The first one I'm going to name number 1, the second one is going to be number 2, and the final one is going to be, yeah, you guessed it, number 3. Okay, now let's go back to the same south elevation. And then let's go to this portion over here, and let's now go to our tools. Now I'm going to choose the spline tool, as that's going to give me the most kind of warped shape. And then for the placement plane, instead of grid 1, change that to reference plane 1, and make sure that draw on work plane is selected, because you don't want it to kind of go all over the place. Okay, so now once we have that, as you can see, this is where that reference plane is. So let's go create something silly. There we go. Okay, so once we have this one, let's then go again to spline, and then change this to reference plane number 2. Again, make sure that this is checked, and then you can go create your crazy structure or crazy shape, just like this. Again, go to spline, draw on work plane, reference plane, reference plane number 3, there we go. And then let's go like this. Okay, there we go. Go to modify, go to the 3D view, it's going to look like that. Okay, it looks awfully silly. There we go. And then if you select all 3 and go to create form, it's going to create a form. Now once you have that form created, and it might be a little too warped, I don't know. Hopefully it isn't. Anyways, once we have that crazy form created, we can go here to finish mass. And then we can turn this into a roof by simply going here to Massing and Site, Roof by Face, select that face, click Create Roof. Can't make roof. Okay, I guess it was too crazy. Let's try 125. Okay, it works like this. Perfect. Okay, so once we have this crazy roof created, let's use beams in order to add some structure to it. Now the thing about adding beams to a structure like this is you want to use, here when you go to beam, you want to use the pick lines option. Now in this case we can only pick, if I go here to pick lines, we can only pick kind of the outside edge, which I don't really want to do. So what I found works best in situations such as this is to, let's go just to site plan. And then here we have that structure. And then what you want to do is mark out the positions of beams using walls. So you go here to the architecture tab, you go to wall. Let's use one of the smaller ones. Let's go with this one. And then simply create a line that goes like this. Perfect. And then let's copy this wall. So I'm just going to go here to the array. Let's do, I don't know, 8. Let's go to last, and then copy that like this. Perfect. Go to the 3D view, select all of these walls, just ungroup them, attach top base, and then select that roof. And it's going to create something that looks like this. Now the next step will be to select the roof, and then go to the temporary hide isolate and just hide that element. So now we have kind of a set of profiles where our beams should go. And then you simply go here to the just to the structure tab, and go to the beam tool, use the pick lines, and then you just want to, let's see. Okay, so the placement plane is set here, but actually you just want to turn on 3D snapping. As you can see now, it's going to allow you to select the individual lines. If it's turned off, it's kind of going to just drop it down. So as you can see, it's going to go down here. But if you turn 3D snapping back on, it's going to follow that line. There we go. And basically, you just want to go ahead and keep picking these wall lines. As you can see, it's going to create all sorts of crazily shaped beams. Hit the escape key a couple of times. Let's delete this one. Go to temporary hide isolate, reset everything, select the walls, and you can simply hit delete. And there we go. So we have a bunch of crazy beams. Now, if you want to add a beam system in between this, that's actually possible as well. It sounds crazy, actually. I'm quite impressed with Revit that it actually allows us to do this. So again, let's select the... Oops. Okay, let's select the roof itself and hide that element again. Okay, so now what you want to do is go here to beam system, but unfortunately we only have one beam loaded in, this universal beam, and it's quite thick. So let's escape out of this. Yeah, okay, go to beam and then go to load family. Next here in the US metric library, I'm just going to go to framing, open that up, go to steel, and then do we have that universal beam? There we go, UB. And here, as you can see, we have something that's way too thick. Let's go with the, I don't know, let's try this one. And let's select this one as well and click OK. Perfect. Okay, so now you want to hit the escape key a couple of times, go to beam system again, then go here into the constraints. Here, set this to universal beam. Yeah, let's try this one. And now what you want to do is make sure that 3D here is checked on. This is the most important part. So check the 3D on. Okay, now you can go here and select pick supports. And if I pick this line and this line, they're going to get that little triangle as you get with roof boundaries, indicating that there is some slope to these, which is perfect. And then finally, you can use simple lines to kind of connect these, just like that. And finally, we have the beam direction, so we can just kind of draw it like that, because you want the beam direction to go from this beam to this beam. And yeah, that should be it. Let's drop distance down to 1000 millimeters, hit apply, hit finish, wait for Revit to do its magic, and there we go. We have one really cool beam system going on over here. So as you can see, this is quite cool. It's kind of unexpected that Revit will actually allow you to do something like this, but it does, which is really, really cool. So I'm quite impressed with having something something like this. Now, finally, the big problem with something like this, and let me just reset temporary hide isolate, is if you go and select the form like this and go into edit in place and then decide to, I don't know, select the spline and kind of move it like that, hit finish, and then you select the roof and then you update to face. As you can see, the construction doesn't really update to that, which is well, it's a downside. So one option that you do have is to model the beams as trusses. So let me show you that. So for that, let's perhaps go again to the south elevation. Here we go. Let's go to the other side. And here I'm just going to go to architecture, to roof, go with roof by extrusion, level 2, that's okay. And then let's use a spline again. And let's go like this, crazy. Okay, and let's go back to modify. Select this edge, okay, like that. Don't be too crazy. Anyways, so let's say we have something that looks like that. So what you can do is you can go here to structure and then go to truss. And currently we don't really have any loaded in, so let's load one in. Let's go back here a few steps. Structural trusses, here we go. Open that up. Then here you can find something. I suggest you go with the simplest one. So let's see. I guess this is that. Okay, let's go with this one. So that's kind of the simplest truss. So what you want to do is turn off the bottom cord. And then let's see, should this work? Okay, so let's go then into level 2, like this. Go to that truss. And let's create that truss like this. Let's see what happens. Go back to the 3D view. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we have a truss that looks like this. Now, if we just bring this truss a little bit down, so let's give it an offset both in the start and the end of 1000. Like that. So that should bring it. Okay, that was up. Let's add a minus there. So if you bring it down like this, okay, we could go with a little bit further. Okay, let's try, maybe this will work. So you go here to attach top base, and then you attach it to this. Let's see, hopefully it will work. Wait for a second to calculate. There we go, perfect. Okay, so as you can see, the truss will attach itself to the bottom of that roof. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have the option to kind of check off these diagonal and vertical chords. So what you can do is go into either here edit profile or edit family, and then what you can do there is just kind of delete those and load it back into the project, override, and then it's just going to leave you with that top beam. So basically this truss is now a beam, but the upside of that is if I select this roof and go into edit profile and change it in any way, as you can see, the beam will follow that construction. So it is kind of cool, but again, it's a bit much work, and also you do model it as a truss instead of a beam. So you can kind of pick out what option works for you. If you're not going to change this much, then I suggest this way. If you are, then well, this is the best approach for you. So there you go. Those are all of the kind of different ways and approaches of creating cool kind of 3D curved beams in Revit. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you're interested in a more advanced course on steel structures in Revit, I do have a complete course on that topic, so make sure to check it out. It's available on my website, balkanarchitect.com. And if you would like my Revit project files, like all of these files that we have here, well, for that, check out my Patreon page. That's going to be the second link in the description. There you can find all of my Revit project files. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have learned something new. And if there is an option that maybe I have missed, please tell me in the comment section below if you have maybe a different approach to creating curved beams in Revit, or maybe that's there's some even cooler, wilder shape that you can create using these tools. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, and I'll be back in a couple of days with another Balkan Architect tutorial. Thank you for watching. Again, have a nice day.